Okay, so welcome back to another episode, and today I am going to go over my best baits of 2020 fishing with you guys. These are all the baits that I used in the spring, summer, and even right now that have caught all of my largemouth bass and smallmouth bass on the Great Lakes and inland lakes in Michigan. Now, let's not get it confused. These are not all of the baits or the only baits that I've used this year, but these are the best ones, the most productive. Definitely the ones that I encourage you guys to try, because not only have they caught me the most fish, but they've been the most effective and the most fun. So we're going to go ahead and start off right at the top, and that is with the Strike King Red Eye Shad. That is actually the Delta red color, and you'll notice if you look, you do have kind of your silverish treble hook and you have a red one. I was fishing with this in the spring and I had a pike bite off a piece of the treble hook, so it had to be replaced. Now, Delta Red, Chili Cross, Sexy Shad, those are all colors that I am going to gravitate toward, more than anything. Now, do me a favor, give this Delta Red and Chili Craw a try. Now, you'll notice that this is the original Red Eye Shad. Now, if you get the Tungsten 2-tap one with the one knocker sound, that is also good, but I have had the most success with largemouth bass and smallmouth bass with the original sound. Okay, so, I mean, this is a bait that I'm going to be throwing here soon in the fall, and it was my best moving bait in the spring. So you do have that, and that is going to be the first one out of the box. Now, moving on, we're going to kind of go like one bait here, one bait there. Now, up next, over here, see that? That is a Googan Baits Juicy Jig. It's a finesse jig. It's a 1/4 ounce size, and it does have a Strike King Rage Craw as the trailer. Now, on this green pumpkin jig, I do like a green pumpkin trailer, but I also like a green pumpkin blue trailer. A Rage Craw on this jig caught me a lot of fish, a lot of big fish too. Now, you know, sometimes fish want or prefer one size of jig over the other, which is why this is a 1/4 ounce and this is a 5/16. Now, I do fish with a 3/8, and I have caught a lot of fish with a 3/8 jig, okay? But I like 5/16. Especially in the spring and the summer. Now, you're going to look, too, like I said, green pumpkin, 5/16. See the color on that. The weed guard, I make sure it's to right there, to the barb. There it is. Just want to show that to you up close. I like to fish these with a high-speed reel and fluorocarbon. And before I forget, if you do look at both of these jigs, they are casting jigs. You'll see the shape of the head. Not a flipping, not a football jig. Those jigs are great. They catch fish. I use them, but a casting jig is my favorite. Moving on, you do have the Strike King 5XD in the sexy blueback herring color. This is my go-to deep diving crankbait on Lake St. Clair for smallmouth bass. Now, the standard diving depth on this bait is going to be 15 feet, but if you use a lighter line, like a 10-pound or 12-pound test, you can get that bait to go deeper. Now, I do like to fish this on a 6-gear reel, something that's 23 to 26 inches per turn, because at least I feel in my experience that low gear reel is going to allow the bait to get the most action, and it is going to be able to handle the torque and the resistance on the bait. And I do like to pair it with a crankbait rod, a medium heavy moderate or a medium moderate, again, depending on the weight of the bait. This is a 5/8, and you can see how close it has been destroyed by bass. So, I mean, you got the lipless, the deep diving crankbait, which is the 5XD. You got the jigs. Now, moving on to the chatterbait here, bladed jig, whatever you want to call it. This is a Strike King Thunder Cricket in the 1/2 ounce size, and it is the bruiser color. I've caught so many bass and pike on this thing, and I was always a spinnerbait guy or a lipless guy, and this year I really got into the chatterbaits. And this is actually a Kraken Craw trailer. This has been one of my best baits. I've been taking this bait in the bluegill color to catch bass and pike on inland lakes. Also, shout out to Matt Goes Fishing. I lost a bruiser colored Thunder Cricket, and he gave me one of these, so he gave me one of his extras. Now, if I'm going to throw a jerkbait for a smallmouth bass, you guys know that it's going to be a mega bass. This right here, this is a mega bass Vision 110 Plus one. That's the Table Rock SP color, and if you look, I hope you can see that, this bait has been absolutely destroyed by smallmouth bass, pike, largemouth bass. See that? I still got a piece of the line on there, but they just destroy it. Now, I've talked about this bait a lot, and I've fished it a lot. You do have this color, which is the Table Rock SP, and you also have this silver color, which you should be able to see a little bit better. Now, this bait right here, I I've always told you guys for years, I don't know what it is about this bait. Yes, they're $25, $30, but do me a favor and pick one of these up and try it, especially if you fish Lake St. Clair, okay? These baits are amazing. They are called the money bait, and they are worth the money. I like to fish mine with spinning tackle, 8-pound test, straight fluorocarbon. I've tried a bait caster. It works great on a bait caster. It works great with braided fluorocarbon, but spinning straight fluorocarbon is my favorite way to fish that. I seriously want you guys to give that bait a try. I know it's expensive. I know a lot of people don't want to spend that kind of money on a bait like that right now, but I'm telling you, if you give it a chance, I really think you're going to be happy with the results, and it works year-round. I've caught fish on that bait when it's 90 degrees outside, but if you fish that in the spring or the fall, especially in cold water, and you find your depth, you find those smallies, it works for largemouth too, and pike, just inhale it, but smallmouth especially, and walleye, you're going to have a good time on the water. Now, speaking of the smallmouth, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move to the two baits that I have right here, and those are tubes, okay? This is a Extreme Bass Tackle tube by Wayne Carpenter. This is the 1/4 ounce size. The color is sweet green. It's a 1/4 ounce tube jig. I'll get more into that in a minute. And right here, you do have a 3/8 tube jig. That one was a Gamakatsu. This is a Mustad. This is Great Lakes perch. Now, sweet green, I've caught more fish on sweet green, okay? But I've caught bigger fish on Great Lakes perch. And Great Lakes perch is actually a bait that I'm starting to gravitate toward more than others. I used to be a big goby guy, a goby tube. But if you get into like tubes like these, even like a Strike King coffee tube, ISG tube, Extreme Bass Tackle, you not only are you going to catch fish, but you're going to catch bigger fish. My biggest smallmouth bass have been caught with tubes. Like I said, I love the jerkbait, the crankbait, the lipless. They'll react to all those baits, the plastics, but like a tube and a drop shot is the way to go for smallmouth bass. There's a lot of things that work, but those are going to be the things that I'm going to go to like without question. So I'm going to have to also talk about the plastics, which I'll get to in a little bit. But now, one thing that I haven't fished as much this year that I have fished in the past and had success with for both largemouth and smallmouth, again, is a spook. This is a Head & Zara Spook Junior. I believe it's a 3/16 ounce size. The only thing I don't like about this is the stock hooks. They get bent and torn up easy. Like I said, I haven't fished this as much as I normally would this year. I've fished more of the, the KVD Sexy Dog, because I do like the action. But this right here has been my best topwater bait for smallmouth and largemouth. Again, this year I did mainly moving baits, bottom baits, and clear water fishing. I didn't do a lot of topwater for whatever reason. I probably missed out on some good opportunities, but hey, we don't always fish everything, do we? So now we're going to get to the actual tube jigs. So the tube jigs, like I tell you, that 1/4 ounce Strike King, there it is right there. Got a plane going overhead. And the 3/8 Mustad is right there. So kind of take them side by side here. You got 1/4 ounce on the bottom, 3/8 on the top. Put them in your hand. There you go. Now, as far as the Texas rig, the plastics, a lot of people ask me, what do I use? And I've said it a lot in videos, and I will continue to say it because people do appreciate that. I use the 3/0 Superline EWG hook. Okay, it's the same thing as the Gamakatsu Offset Shankworm EWG 3/0 hook, except it's a Superline. And I have bent out a regular hook with 20-pound fluorocarbon, which I do use for my Texas rigs. Now, you got the 3/0, okay? I've also been using a 2/0 regular, but I still prefer the 3/0. So there's that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take out some of the plastics, and I'm going to tell you guys some of that. I hope you guys are enjoying this and finding some of this informational, because if you do look at the baits right here, these will catch you fish all year, catch you more fish, bigger fish. And if you want to see like proof of this, all of the videos that I've done in 2019 and 2020, the majority of those have been with these baits. So, get this closed up. Talk about these plastics. I gotta move this. So again, I just picked some plastics and put them in this little bag. Now these are all plastics that I've caught not only a lot of fish on, but big fish on as well. There we go. So first we'll start off with the Extreme Bass Tackle tubes, the sweet green color. Now like I said, perch has become a go-to for me, and it's caught me the biggest fish, but the Extreme Bass Tackle and the sweet green, like sweet green is a color that I would take, like if I'm taking someone from down south fishing, which I've done in the past a couple times, I'm going to put them on a sweet green tube. You know why? Because Wayne Carpenter said that's what he does with his clients. So, I mean, I'm no expert. So if I'm going to take someone out, I'm probably going to try the same thing. Now, next up, if I'm not having a lot of luck with like a craw or a creature bait, I will try kind of like a swim bait thing. Now, this KVD Swim and Caffeine Shad, I like this a lot. And I've actually been fishing it more now than I did earlier in the year. Now, if you look at it, you'll see how it's pearl. Some people call it white. Some people call it pearl. I call it pearl. You can swim this or drag it on the bottom or hop it however you want. But I'm going to tell you what, bass, pike, walleye, they love this thing. And you'll be surprised how many pike you actually catch when you fish the bottom. A lot of people think you got to throw whatever for pike. I just throw bass baits, catch them all the time. And that's something that I want you guys to keep in mind. One of my favorite chatterbait trailers, actually the best chatterbait trailer this year, has been a Rage Craw. In the video that I just posted, I took a green pumpkin gold Rage Craw on a bluegill thunder cricket. Jeez, oh Pete's, on a bluegill thunder cricket. And that's what started catching the fish. We went from not catching to catching with just a change in the color. Sometimes it's just that subtle change that you need to do better. Now you'll see the last one right there is a Googan Kraken Craw. And it's actually the finesse size, which is the 3-inch, which kind of got me into the smaller hook. It's black and blue color. Take it out of the package. I love these things, man. Strike King, Googan, Extreme Bass Tackle, you name it. Just take one out of the package, break open the appendage. The scent is good, ready to go. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you picked something up out of this video. Do me a favor, if you like this and you think these baits are good or you've caught fish on these baits, share this video with a friend or a family member or your kids. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave four videos, one in each corner. I'll do my most recent upload. I'll do a smallmouth, a spring largemouth, and then a summer smallmouth, just to show you guys. Hope you guys check those out. Let me know if you like these. Let me know what was your favorite bait out of this tackle video. You guys know I respond to all your comments, and I will see you guys next time.